welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing and showing you our Sonlight Pre-K curriculum. I want to say thank you to Sonlight for sending me this curriculum. I've worked with Sonlight in the past on some of their individual units, like their 50 states unit and their butterfly unit. And so I really am excited to be sharing with you guys their pre-K curriculum and using it in our homeschool this year. I've had this curriculum sitting in boxes since like December or January. That is when they first sent us the curriculum to start looking at. We did break in early and start using it, even though it's meant for our upcoming school year. So we've done a few weeks of Sonlight and we're really enjoying it. And I'm going to explain kind of how we got our kit, how we customized it a little bit, and how we're going to be using it in our homeschool, as well as like a full unboxing, because you guys want to see all the cool stuff that's in the pre-K kit. All right, so this is the pre-K Exploring God's World all subject package. But what I did differently to customize my kit is I chose to add on the level K language arts and readers. Now, I did that for a couple reasons. My son is learning letter sounds, so he knows his letter recognition, uppercase and lowercase, and we are working through letter sounds. So he knows some sounds, not all of them. So his next step will be reading. I have used curriculums like Sonlight in the past, and I know we are not going to be able to get it all done and entirely in one school year. So that is why we kind of have already started it in this current preschool year. We will use it throughout the pre-K year and into the kindergarten year. And so I really look at this package, this curriculum, as kind of a multi-year. We may finish some things early and may need to adapt, and then I have that added on kindergarten language arts and readers for when we're ready. And so I really see us using this over a span of time. Now, in true Sonlight fashion, you get an amazing instructor's guide. It is planned out for 4 days a week, and basically it just says, hey, read these pages in this book for science, for language, and it kind of breaks down the different subjects. In this package, you get everything you need for all subjects. So obviously reading, science, there's some history, there is writing practice, math practice. So really this is all you need. I do have other things that we're going to be using, and I did film a separate video on that. So if you're interested to see what other things I'm doing in addition to this, I'll link that video down below. 36 weeks planned out for you in this instructor's guide, and so it kind of breaks it down. Here's your schedule. So here is day 1, and here's all the subjects. So here's what you're gonna do for day 1, and then it kind of goes through. Now we've done this, and we've done like day 1 in an entire day, and they know what age level you're teaching. It is not too much. It is not overwhelming. Now, we do break it up over the day, and so there's like 2 main storybooks, maybe 3 storybooks that we're reading. I can sometimes get away doing 2 back to back, but if there's that 3rd one, I normally will save that one for later in the day. When it's not like school time, it's more like we're just laying on the couch, hanging out, let's read this book, but it's only a couple pages you're reading. So my 4-year-old, he doesn't tend to sit still for very long, and we're able to get through it. Now in this pre-K, I will say that it is not going over just learning your letters. It is a little bit past that. So if your child still needs to identify the letters themselves, I would recommend their preschool kit. Because each week there is a letter of the week, but it's more focused on the sound of that letter and writing that letter. And so we are really moving into letter sounds and writing letters. And so there's different activities to do the sound, and then there's always just a very simple writing practice exercise. That was kind of just some examples from my like instructor guide. Now I have their ginormous binder. I normally put this just like in a cubby and pull out the week we're working on. The reason mine is so big is because I also have the kindergarten language arts, which I'll show you guys at the end of the video. I'm just gonna start showing you guys some of the stuff that we have. Now, the way that I store this, I got these, and I'll try to link them if I can find them. They're from Target. They're these like rectangle storage bins. They fit so many books, especially like the awkward like kid, you know, younger kid books. I always use these for like unit studies or literature type curriculum. So I do have two of them because there's so many books, but these work the best to store them on our shelves. And I'm not pulling this out in any order. It's kind of how I have it laid in here. But these are the Developing the Early Reader or the Early Learner. Now, I don't know, I can't remember if these were part of the add-on with kindergarten or if they come standard in the preschool pack, but there are 4 different levels with them. So there's just foundational skills for successful reading. So level 1, 2, 3, 4, IQ booster skills. There's like the instructions at top, so there's no separate teacher's guide. So this one, look at pictures in each box, color them if they're identical. So they're simple enough. Listen carefully while the directions are read. Complete only 1 row each time. Refer to the answer guide for the correct series of directions. So I'm assuming that's in the back. Oh yeah. So in the back, there are the different instructions that you would read. So I've never used this curriculum. I've never heard of it, and we have not started using it yet. It hasn't called for us to use it in our guide yet. We're only through the first couple weeks though, so I'll see how this goes. If you've used this, let me know what your thoughts are. These are some of the books we're working through right now. This is the Bernstein's Big Book of Science and Nature. This is a super fun book. It goes through various little science tidbits. Seasons is what I think we're on right now. Weather, just all bunch of different things. My son likes the Bernstein Bear books, so it was easy for him to really get engaged because he already knows these characters. We are also doing the 101 stories from the Bible. So Sonlight is a religious curriculum, and so a lot of the literature is about God and the Bible. So we're reading through this. This is something I use with my older kids too. So anytime I read one of these stories, I read one aloud to all of my kids at the same time. This is the Lion Storyteller Bedtime Book. So this is one of them that we are reading right now, a story a day. Sometimes the stories are a couple pages longer than my son can sit through. So sometimes we have to break up a story over 2 days, which is fine. He does like a lot of the illustrations in these books, and they are just super cute little stories. This is the Child's Big Book of Art, Great Pictures of First Words. And so it's just beautiful art and first words. So really big that, you know, you guys can go through. This is a sitting next to each other book that you can just have fun looking at all the beautiful art and some of those first words. These are some of my all-time favorite science books. I use them all the time. They are Wells of Knowledge Science Series, and this is How Do You Lift a Lion? And this is talking about like machines. This one is a blue whale the biggest thing there is? So just like little fun images. What's smaller than a pygmy shrew? So that's super cute. And it's just talking about like using microscopes. We have the Eric Carle's Animals, which Eric Carle just has beautiful illustrations. So we use this as a resource book too, if we're talking about different animals or different colors. Or I think sometimes if we have a letter of the week, it will tell you to go to a page with that letter. So if we were doing letter S, it would have you go to the snail page and read that. This is How to Dig a Hole to the Other Side of the World. So this is a cute, I've never read this story, so I'm not quite sure where it goes. This is the Usborne Book of Things People Do. So learning about what kind of jobs people have, what do people do all day. The first 1,000 words in Spanish. So I do think that this is one of the adaptations if you get the level K reader. If not, I think you get the first 1,000 words in English. So I don't think, honestly, this is one of the resources we will not be using. I'll probably give this to my 3rd grader who is learning Spanish, to be honest. So this is something we'll hold on to, but I'm not going to incorporate Spanish with him right now. This is Stories from Africa, so some social studies, geography. the Children's Book of Virtues, which is actually funny because I have the actual Book of Virtues, so I'm excited to read through the children's version. And this is probably, again, something I'll probably read aloud with all of my kids together. All right, that was bin 1. There's another bin. This is the Millie, Molly, Mandy storybook. I've heard wonderful things about this storybook. I think it's just a bunch of different little stories, possibly, or maybe just a longer chapter book. I'm not sure. I've never read it, but I've heard cute things about it. This is What's Under the Sea. Why Did Tigers Have Stripes? Then and Now, The Gods Must Be Angry. My first picture dictionary. This is something I know we'll use a lot of. Just kind of starting to learn some, keywords, sight words. This is Stories from Around the World. Uncle Wiggli's Storybook. I'm really excited for this one. I've never read this either, but I've heard really good things about it. So we shall see. The Year at Maple Hill Farm. I'm really excited for this one. It just kind of shows what happens on a farm over different seasons, all the different animals, people. So it has like, we love and keep all sorts of pets, and then it shows pets around the world. So different pets that people have, different holidays that are celebrated. So I think this is going to be a really, really fun book. Again, a lot of these I might do with all my kids, because even though they're like, younger picture books, I really think my kids would like them. They'd all like them. This is New Toes for Tia. This is American Tall Tales. So I think it's just like an audio of stories like Paul Bunyan, Johnny Appleseed, Pecos Bill, and The Fastest Draw in the Wild West. These are the little beginning reader books. So this is part of the kindergarten add-on. So there are 27 tiny little books in here that your child would be reading through. This is like an alphabet bingo game. And then you also get this big box of like manipulative and stuff. So here are like sensory letter cards. And so I believe, oh yeah, these are cool. So it's almost like a sandpaper, so they can trace it. And so they can do that. They can look at it. We practice sounds with these, like they're flashcards. And then I put them up. We have like the sand board where he can draw his letters in. So we use these as well for that. We also have the number set of that as well, so all the sensory numbers. And then we have this. They are like a shape, different like shape cutouts, so the shapes themselves, and then like the actual like inside of the shape. So we use these for like math and activities. These are some grippy colored pencils, which I think are really cool, and they're shorter, which is easier for him to hold and practice his pencil grip. Here are, it's called Go A to Z, so I'm not sure what these are for, but I'm sure it will tell me somewhere in the book. Oh, these are the other sensory numbers. So this is 1 through 10, and this is 11 through 30. Some math counting beads. These are for that bingo game, just like little counters. A knife. So something that Sonlight does do is life skills too. So like in week 1, it said learn to wash a bowl. And so I set him up in the sink with like a sponge, some soap, and a bowl, and he kind of learned how to wash it. So each week there's different life skills. So I'm assuming something with a kid safe knife is coming up, and then scissors for cutting practice. And this is the teens board and some cutout letter or numbers. I don't know, because like I said, we've already been using it, so there may be stuff like sprinkled around my house that I don't even know. But that is like the bulk of it. And then last thing to show you is my level K language arts. So really, I feel like I have 2 years of curriculum in one by adding this on to the pre-K kit. So that's really where I feel like that's kind of a good option if you aren't sure, like, or maybe you're in that middle pre-K and you kind of feel like you're ready for kindergarten but not yet. The option to add on the kindergarten language arts and readers is such a cool thing. And so you get same schedule, and you're practicing, you're doing copy work, handwriting. This does, okay, so I'm not crazy. I was like, I know I planned this better. Okay, so in the actual kindergarten, they do recommend having get ready for the code and handwriting for without tears, letters and numbers. So I have both those things. So if you have those types of things, it will also kind of schedule those out for you. And so I was wondering like why I was so quick to buy those resources, and it's because they were recommended by Sonlight. So we would read this is like a review of letter F, right? And so we're going to read my first picture dictionary. We're going to read the F words. We're going to do letter pictures. We're going to do get ready for the code. We're going to do letters and numbers, and then some copy work. And then what it does is, so this is like your schedule, and then it breaks down day by day, okay? The first week is so like long because it's explaining everything to you because everything's new. And then over here, over the course of the year, you'll make a letter page for each sound. You'll keep them in a folder. In section 4, the picture sheets you'll find. So it just kind of goes through all of that. Here's an example, and this is a couple weeks in. This is week 5, but here's like some copy work and some different activities. So we're not going to be starting the K just yet. We're gonna still work through some other things that we have, really get into some of the reading of the books, and then we will start diving into the kindergarten language arts probably halfway through our pre-K year is what I'm thinking. All right, guys, so that was showing everything from our Sonlight Pre-K kit with our level K language arts added on. If you have any questions about anything I showed today, leave it down below in the comments. I also have a link down below if you want to check it out. Go ahead and use my link down below. Thanks so much for being here, guys, and we'll chat soon. Bye.